All right, Rabbi say good morning. So we are picking up today in Tzidkas Hatzaddik Os Pei. So we began this particular Os yesterday with the Rebbe's idea that Tikkun Likas, the way to remedy, the way to rectify the midah of kas, the midah of anger, is shinui makom, to change one's place. And the way the Rebbe really arrived at this idea was through the concept that a person who commits an act of murder is sent to Golus, is sent to an Ir Mikla, to a city of refuge. And the Rebbe explains that at the core of the transgression of Ritzicha is kas, is anger. So we're picking up on page Kuf Tzaddik Aleph in the Be'orei Chasidus, the right hand column, right by the bracket. V'haya harotzeach gola li'ir miklat v'yoshev sham. What would happen if a person would accidentally kill another individual? They would be exiled to the Ir Mikla, to the city of refuge. V'lo na v'nad ba'aretz li'olam. K'fi shenigzar al kayin l'tikun harigas hevel. Now this is very interesting. And now what the Rebbe is really doing is bringing together a number of different things. Because remember again, the first act of murder was Cain against Hevel. Now remember, Cain was sent as a wanderer. Nav v'nad tia ba'aretz. That was his punishment. He was to wander the earth for the rest of his life. So the Rebbe says that when a person kills b'shogun, a person kills accidentally, his sentence is not nav v'nad. His sentence is not to wander, but rather his sentence is to go to a particular place for exile, to an Ir Miklat. V'tama davar. What's the reason? What's the logic for the Ir Miklat? Why is it to say that the halacha for the accidental murderer is to go ahead and go to Galus, to the Ir Miklat, to the city of refuge? This is beautiful. V'atam hadavar ki be'emes yish b'kedusha es midas pachad yitzchak shehi eish dikdusha. So the Rebbe says we know that there is a midah of pachad yitzchak. This is actually how Yaakov Avinu referred to his father, pachad yitzchak. What does it mean, the fear of Yitzchak? So the Rebbe says this refers to the midah of eish dikdusha. There's a concept of the fire of holiness. Meaning what? Lahargiz ba yetzer tov al yetzer hara. Okay, so also there's a lot of things happening over here. So over here the Rebbe is quoting from the Gemara Masechtas Brachos. Actually, I want to tell you something amazing. There is a direct connection between today's daf and today's piece by Reb Tzaddik. Absolutely amazing. The Gemara Masechtas Brachos has a statement of Li'olam yargiz adam yetzer hatov al yetzer hara. A person should always be margiz. Now margiz literally means ragaz, means to get angry. So a person should fire up his yetzer hatov against his yetzer hara. That's the lashon of yargiz. Create a sense of anger. So Rebbe says, what do you see from here? You see from here that, and he calls this midah the midah of pachad yitzchak, that anger has a constructive side as well. And there's a concept, ultimately, again, of firing up the Yetzer Hatov against the Yetzer Hara. He says, Ugvuras Kiddushos Levar Ha'esh the Yetzer Hara. The goal is to ignite the fire of Tov against Ra. That's the goal in life. So I'll say, let me tell you we've actually spoken about this concept in Reb Tzaddik before. The idea being that sometimes the most powerful antidote to the Yetzer Hara is a fiery passion for Tov. This goes to a general thought in Chasidus, that the most dangerous thing for a Jew is not the commission of sin. Everyone sins. The most dangerous thing for a Jew is kind of when you're just blah in life. You're just you're kind of just very even-keeled, nothing really, not a non-excitable person, nothing really gets you going, nothing really gets you passionate. To a certain degree, a lack of passion and a lack of excitement is the greatest danger for the Jew. So the Gemara says, if you want to go ahead and combat the Yetzer Hara, how do you do that? And the Gemara says essentially is, you fire up your Yetzer Hatov. You fire up the good inside of you. Become passionate about doing that which is good. And by definition, that overcomes the Yetzer Hara. So the Rebbe says, Sheba ofen zeh hu roges tov. There is good anger. There is good anger. Now the truth is, we don't call good anger. What do we call it? right? We call it positive passion. Positive passion. But passion and anger are two sides of the same coin. Anger is misdirected passion. Right? And you know this, by the way. People who have very bad tempers, if you're able to channel that in the right way, you can become passionate almost about anything and everything, because anger represents that there is a fire burning inside of me. Just anger is the wrongful application of that passion. See, the Rebbe calls that, this is what it means when Chazal say, the Olam Yargiz. See, it's so interesting, because Chazal could have said, you really should just go ahead and do more good than bad. But that's not what Chazal say. They say that you should fire up. The Olam Yargiz Adam Yetzer Tov al Yetzara. Fire up your Yetzer Tov or Yetzara, meaning that many of us possess this, what he calls Givuras Pachad Yitzchak, this eish, this fire, this anger. And Chazal are telling us, channel it. Channel it. You don't have to get rid of your anger. You don't really have to get rid of anything in life. You just have to go ahead and channel it in the right way. So the Rebbe says something amazing. Ki inyan masha amru Chazal. So I will say, this is what Chazal said. Where do they say? What do they say? Haitzer mirabanan derasach. That when a Talmud Chacham gets angry, Zeh Talmud Chacham Tzoyer Shavali De Roges, that if a young Talmud Chacham gets angry, HaTorah Hu Meviyasa Lekach. What causes the anger inside of him? What causes the anger? Ultimately, again, the Torah inside of us. Where does this Gemara happen to appear? Take a wild guess. Tainis Daf Dalid. Today's daf, right? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Literally, it's going to be 5 lines in the top of the daf, right? So what are Chazal saying? Chazal is saying that where there is good, there's often a fire of passion. The challenge ultimately in life is not to allow the passion to go awry and to become anger. So he goes on, he says, V'atov shenimtza b'shorish midas hakas v'aretzicha zeu inyan hakapara shel harotzech begalus al irmichla. So let's analyze this then. So remember, we're assuming that the act of retzicha, the act of bloodshed, even though again we're talking over here an accidental act of bloodshed, Reb Tzaddik says taking life in any form is a manifestation of kas. That's the theory he's working with over here, right? Even though, again, we're talking, for Gullah's purposes, it's talking about a very specific case of an accident. But Lamaisa, Reb Tzaddik says, in its essence, so the act of Ritzicha is a manifestation of kas, of anger. So what's the punishment, right? What's the punishment for the person who kills another person? What's his punishment? Gullus. Now I will say, what's the point of Galus? So yesterday we spoke about the idea that Galus itself is a reorientation, right? You look at the world differently. But Reb Tzaddik is saying that a step further. The goal of Galus is anger management. Right? Is to go ahead and go somewhere new. And I must remember again, where did you go for Ir Miklat? Which cities were Ari Miklat? Cities of the Levium, right? Remember again, who are the tribes who demonstrated the most intense form of kas? Shimon and Levi, right? Next week's parsha, right? Shimon and Levi go in and wipe out an entire city. Interestingly enough, what does Levi become? Levi becomes the seat of religious leadership. So what does Shevet Levi represent? Anger management. The ability to take the midah of anger and to transform it from something destructive into something powerfully constructive. The same Shevet that wiped out an entire city, whether they deserved it or not, Yaakov Avinu clearly did not agree with that course of action. They wiped out an entire city, and yet they realized, Yaakov Avinu gives them Musar on his deathbed. They realized we did the wrong thing, but the midah is good. The passion is there. Remember what they say to Yaakov Avinu? Yaakov Avinu says, what did you do? You put the entire family in mortal danger. And remember again, what did Shimon Levi respond? Our sisters should be treated like a harlot? First of all, what a chutzpah. That's how you talk to your father. I'm saying like you're talking back to your father. These are adult men. You're talking back to your father. That passion was there. That anger was there. But Yaakov Avinu was saying, you're using it in the wrong way. Channel it. So they become, Shevet Levi, again, becomes the seat of all religious leadership, all religious passion. is channeled through Shevet Levi. Now the Rambam says anyone who wants to be a part of Shevet Levi can be a part of Shevet Levi. In other words, I could adopt that midah. I don't have to be a part of the tribe to adopt that midah. But the idea, says Reb Tzaddik, is now we understand why there's galus. Because the person who kills b'shogeg demonstrated kas, right? But wrong kas. You got to go to galus. Because what you have to learn is how to channel that passion into something constructive. And where do you go? Ir Miklot, cities of the Levium, because they've mastered this ability to channel this kas, to channel this trait, to channel this passion into the right way. So we'll have to stop over here for today. But again, so you begin to see two things. Rav Tzaddik is teaching us how to deal with anger. That's which many of us struggle with each and every day. How do I deal with anger? So number one, galus. Galus, and on a basic level, galus means change your orientation. As you spoke about yesterday, we often get angry because things don't follow our plan. I had an idea, I had a conception, I had a vision for how everything was supposed to go, and life didn't follow my plan. Well, to get angry that life didn't follow your plan is gaiva, is arrogance, and it presupposes life is supposed to follow your plan. Who says your plan is the correct one? Galus is a reorientation. You see things differently. The first step to managing anger, says Reb Tzaddik, is to accept the fact that the way you see the world, the way I see the world, may not be the correct way to see the world. So sometimes you have to readjust your vision about how things happen, how things occur, how things unfold. On a deeper level, Reb Tzaddik says, how do you deal with anger? Rechannel. Anger represents a misappropriation of passion. Figure out what is your ir miklat. And I both say ir miklat for different people is different things. For some people, their ir miklat may be therapy. Because maybe a person just has a temper as a result of a whole bunch of life issues that have happened, and you need to figure out how to resolve it. So for some people, the therapy could be their ir miklat. For other people, Musar could be their ir miklat. For other people, Torah could be their ir miklat. For other people, meditation could be. In other words, everybody needs to find that thing that allows them to recalibrate and to rechannel that passion into a productive and meaningful way. All right, we'll have to stop over here for today. We're not finished. We'll spend one more day on Kas, and then Amir Hashem, the Rebbe is going to go from there into talking about Taiva. So this is a very powerful os. We'll continue Amir Hashem tomorrow. Shkoyach.